What's going on, Melanin Fitness Nation? So I got another one of our kinfolks in the hot seat again, all the way from California. Let me just tell you, people from California, you all show up, okay? So I just love you all so much. So I have Leah here in the hot seat, but before we get started, we start our conversation the same way for everybody. So Leah, I'm getting ready to put you on the clock, okay? I'm going
Okay.
to do a 10-second countdown as well too. But you
Okay.
are going to have 60 seconds to tell me anything about yourself. It can be
Oh,
about work, it can be about your personal life, it can be anything about yourself. There are no restrictions of what you can tell me, and you have 10 seconds to gather your thoughts right now. Okay? And we're going to get started and have so much fun. 2, 1, go.
all right. I'm Leah Davis. I'm a mother of two. My oldest is 25 years old. He is a U.S. Marine. My youngest is 13 years old. She's a lovely child, drives me crazy at the same time. I work full time. I'm an entrepreneur. Have my own business, Leah Davis Coaching. I'm a CrossFitter. Been doing it 10 years. I've been sober for 7 years. So I don't drink any alcohol. I live a pretty active and healthy lifestyle. I'm half Black, I'm half Mexican, whoop, whoop, from San Jose, California, too, by the way. So I'm going to claim and own it. I currently live in San Ramon, California. I have a wonderful community of friends, family. I am blessed. My life has been completely transformed in the past, 10 years, quite honestly. And I will say that CrossFit has been a big component of it. And I love connecting with like-minded women and men from our community who are doing all the work to change and completely transform the family dynamics and their family's legacy.
Done. That was perfect. That was absolutely a mouthful and perfect at the same damn time. So, Leah, that was absolutely amazing. You definitely get the award for that one because you did your thing on that one.
Thank you.
So let's get into our chat today because I'm going to get to know more about you and everything that you have to offer. So let's first start. How did you start your fitness journey? Did you start out with CrossFit? What type of workout modality did you start with?
I started out with running. So I was not an athlete growing up at all. I was in no sports. And so that was by design. My family was very religious and I was not allowed to be involved with other people that were not involved in our church. So there's that component of it. So it wasn't until I was 27 years old. That was the age because that's the time I met someone. We got into a relationship and he was big into running. And so he taught me how to run. I knew that I liked it, but I didn't know how. And so I just started running more and more, and I got really consistent with it. Then fast forward to when that relationship didn't work out. And I was like, I'm going to be 35 years old. I want to be in the best shape of my life. And so I found someone, through LinkedIn, a guy I used to know back in the day, used to bartend with. He started a gym thing. So I was like, oh, I know him. I'll go there. And I didn't know it was CrossFit. I didn't know anything about CrossFit. I never heard of CrossFit. So I went to this gym and I just saw these people doing this workout. I was like, oh, that looks pretty cool. And there was one person, her name's Jess. She's a friend of mine. I knew her from back in the day and she was ripped. And she was just like doing things. I'm like, how does she do deadlifts like that? Like just banging them out. I was like, so she was somebody that inspired me. And so I started going to CrossFit then, and I've been doing it ever since.
Nice, nice. So talk to us about your least favorite CrossFit move.
There's a couple. Okay. Uh, mm, I'm trying to think like push-ups, pull-ups, handstands. It's gonna be, I don't know. It's push-ups and pull-ups. They're like neck and neck for me, but maybe
Okay.
push-ups and pull-ups. Yeah, don't
Okay.
don't
Okay.
like them. Can't stand them. Everyone will hear me moan and groan about it. Cindy, when Cindy's on the board, I'm like, I'll do something else. I won't.
Okay. Okay, so let's get to your most favorite CrossFit move. What is your favorite move? Like, give it to me every day. I can take it. I got it.
Overhead squats and overhead lunges.
Nice.
Love them. Like I
I
really
did
like.
overhead
I
squats
love to,
today.
and I love to run. What was that?
I did overhead squats today, so that's amazing.
I love them. Like I love to run, and I do that. So Nancy is my favorite one to do. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Perfect. So tell us what advice would you give someone that is just now starting their fitness journey? What would you tell
Oh,
them?
welcome. And it's not linear. Nothing in life is linear, and there's going to be days and moments when you're just like, what the hell am I doing? Am I any good at this? Why am I doing this? But just remembering how good you feel when you're done. Honestly, sometimes I feel like crap because I'm so tired, but there is that sense of accomplishment. So just doing the best that you can, and giving yourself grace, because oftentimes we tend to think like, for myself, right? Like I've I've struggled, and I can be somebody who's going to be like, I'm going to do this thing and I'm going to just bring it, and I'm going to be here by this time. And then when I'm not there, I can be really critical with myself and go start feeling really down about myself. And we do
Mm-hmm.
tend to do that, especially as women, especially as single mothers and women of color. We think we got it all together. We can do everything. We got it. And then, right, that's how we think. So have you ever experienced that? Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
superwoman Kate, superwoman syndrome. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So for the superwoman syndromes that are out there, it's just one of those things where just take a little piece of it at a time. Like I have somebody I know right now who said she's going to start doing 30 squats a day. And she was like a family member. And she's like 30 days in. And she messaged me last week, like, I'm trying to go from 30 to 35. And she's like, I can't get past 30. I want to get to 30. And she's stuck on 35. And I replied back and I was like, well, have you considered just doing 31? And she's like, you know, and then she messaged me later that day. She's like, I did 32. And I'm like, girl, so you can do 32 and you can do two more tomorrow. And then she did 35 the next day. So boom, like within 2 days, she hit that. So I just reminded her, like, I got to do that for myself when I'm snatching, right? I got to do that. I tend to like, let me throw on 5 extra pounds because I'm going to throw it. No, sometimes you got to put on the little half-pound plates and go up 1 pound and then get that mental capacity and then comfortableness with your body to be able to do the movement, and you get that confidence, and then you can do it more and more.
Nice. I love it. I love it. So tell us, what are two mottos that you live by?
Ooh. Two mottos, MOTTOS.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Um, gosh, it's more of a quote, I guess, right? It's a motto as well. Michael
Mm-hmm.
Bernard Beckwith, I love, which is pain pushes until the vision pulls. So anytime I'm
Yes.
experiencing any sort of pain, and it doesn't have to be excruciating pain, it can be discomfort. It's a source, right? It's pushing me to my potential. So being aware of it, that's where I'm at. There's a vision, something's gonna come from this. There's that one. What's the other motto that I live by? Just honestly, just to be self-compassionate. I mean, it's just to have that compassion for myself and for others, as often as possible. Don't get me wrong, I can find myself being in judgment, for myself and others. And it's in those moments when that happens, I recognize, like, okay, I don't have to be critical of myself, but like, there it is again. And then just kind of rewiring my thinking so that I can just, let that go and just come from a place that's more loving and kind. And then I feel better.
Nice. I like that. We definitely need some more kindness in the world. So I like that. So this part of our interview is actually called Turning Tables. So this affords you the opportunity to ask me any questions that you would like me to answer for you. So tell me what you got.
Okay. What are the 3 things that inspire you to do the work that you're doing with Melanin CrossFit?
So I would say the people. Um, just when I have competitions, when we host, especially the Atlanta Masters Classic, and people just coming up to you to share kind words. I remember the first year that I did this, and I will never forget. There was a guy named Keith that came up to me, and there was another guy. I believe his name was Sean, but Keith took time and pulled me to the side. He was a competitor, and he just filled my cup when it was very empty. So I just very much appreciate the kind words. I would also say just the kindness. Like I had a really rough year, 2001 and 2002. No, 2021 and 2022. I had a rough year. So just like getting encouragement from the people that understood what I was going through when I lost my uncle, my dad, and my grandmother back to back. Um, it was just like very inspiring. And then I think the ability to help people with their fitness journey. I come from a place where I used to be 325 pounds. So helping people overcome and get to the next step to say, yes, you can do this, but we're going to take it slow, like nice and steady. And it's not like this sprint that you need to hurry up and get the weight off. Like, let's just kind of work through all your challenges. So therefore, when you meet them again, you're able to just knock them out.
All right. Ooh, I love it. I love it. Okay. I have another question. So if you could have 3% more self-esteem, what things would you be doing?
Um, I don't think I would change anything that I'm doing right now, to be honest with you. I think that I'm at where I need to be. But maybe if I had to maybe pick one thing, I would probably maybe travel a little bit more for CrossFit. So go visit more gyms to get more people of color and to just go to fitness spaces for people of color to say, hey, like we can align together, like there's power in numbers. So I would probably travel more to get more involved in the fitness.
Good, good, good. How much time do I have again?
We're good to go, whatever. We have
Okay,
enough time.
I have another question. What is the vision that you have for the work that you're doing? Like outcome?
So 2024, we're going to host a gala. So the ultimate goal is to get people to come to Atlanta. We have already been scouting out a venue that we're really interested in. We are going to be supporting a nonprofit as well. We are going to get our 12-week program off the ground and running. And we will employ people in the Melanin CrossFitters group and in the Melanin Fitness Nation group to do the work, whether that's virtual or in person. The ultimate goal is to have that program fully funded. So we're thinking about $100,000 would be fully funded, and for us to be able to facilitate for a minimum of 30 people.
Ooh, I love it. So you got some short-term and some long-term goals. Short-term doing an event,
Yep.
long-term getting some folks employed. So you're doing all of this work. You're putting in all of this effort. What is it about this with it when you have accomplished all of this? What is it ultimately that is it bringing you into your life? Like you as an individual, as a person, your why. Like what is this doing for you?
So I think I know it actually provides me with a sense of closeness to my father who passed. He was very much into health and wellness, and I was like overweight at the time and not working out. So that was a very strong connection for both of us when I started working out and when I became a CrossFit coach and when I became a lifting coach. He was very much like so elated. Like I could just see the look on his face when he would see me in person, because we always lived in separate states for the most part, especially when I became an adult. Like he would just see me and like, oh my gosh, like you're doing it, like you're losing weight, you're looking good, this is great. So I think just the closeness that I had with my father's legacy to continue that, and just my home dynamics and my legacy at home, like life is just better for me, when you work out. Like the stress kind of melts off when I go to my gym and I can just throw up some weights and I can just forget about the rest of the world. I don't have to worry about anything. I don't have to acknowledge anybody. I just have to be there and acknowledge myself.
Awesome. So connection to your father and the legacy of your family and building that up
Yep.
and creating that. I love it. 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 Okay. Is there anything that you sense could possibly get in the way from you being able to accomplish what you're set here to do that you think?
I would say the lack of support from people of color.
Ooh,
That's what I would say.
ah.
I know. I know it's a bad thing to say, but I
No,
have
it's
to
the
be
truth.
honest.
It's the
Yeah.
truth. It's not bad. It's good because it's the truth. So you said it. Tell me how you're getting a lack of support from people of color.
I think just something as easy as being involved in the Facebook group, commenting, liking. Like we have followers on Instagram. Go and like a post. Like it's quick. It's something easy. We're all scrolling. I mean, even at night after I've done like a 10-hour day and I need to be up in a couple of hours, I'm scrolling online to see who I can post, to like somebody's picture, to put them in the stories, because it's not like we have this great ability to pay like an agency to do that. That's like all on the ground. Like I'm literally doing that. So Just liking, sharing, commenting, sharing the group. That's really like as easy as it is. And if you have the ability to travel to our competitions and or participate, do that. Share your events if you have your events. So it's pretty easy. Like, we don't ask for a lot. We just ask for a little.
But that little can be very impactful.
Very much so.
Right. I totally hear that, just getting support. Okay, so I will be supporting you more. You're going to see my face more around. You said it. You called me out. I am all about the success of women just like you, Black and brown women. And so we got to come together, especially when and this arena too, when it comes to the health and fitness, because come on, every space, it seems like, where are we at? But we're our own spaces. But we're in spaces like, and I'm just gonna be real. I saw something on the CrossFit page, and it was someone posted somewhere where it was like the masters athletes at the game, or no, back up. It was the women coming out getting ready to go compete. And I'm looking at all and I'm like, there was not one brown person in that lineup. And I was so annoyed. And I'm like, you know what though?
Yep.
You know what though? Because they scared. Because they know that we are supreme athletes. And when enough of us are out there, and when enough of us get this and hone this in and make this a part of our life, hold on, just the health benefits, how our communities will change, our family dynamics, our longevity, our youthfulness.
Correct.
Like,
yes. Brian and I were talking today.
Yeah.
We went on the CrossFit website because we were looking for something. And Brian, of course, gets me cussing because what do I see? No people of color on the page.
Yeah.
I said, this is just great. This is just peachy. That's what I said.
It just reminds me of, do you watch the show Heart to Heart on Peacock, Kevin Hart's show? Okay. I invite you to consider checking it out. It's on Peacock. And he has interviews with, just one-on-ones where he's talking to them. And there's one interview that stuck out to me that I watched recently. And he's talking to Tyler Perry. And Tyler Perry's talking about his experience when he first got into making shows and TV. And I forget how the wording is, but either way, he was part ownership of some production company or whatever. And so his TV shows started doing well. And what he realized is that they were taking the profits of his show and then putting that into other shows. And he said that were not of people of color. And he's like, yeah, I'm all for, he said, diversity. So people are always coming to him about, oh, you bring more diversity to television and film. And he's like, ultimately, he's like, we need ownership. He's like, because we're just making more money for them. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm saying that because I think that's just the way we got to go. Like, and I'm not the one driving this train here when it comes to the fitness community. I'm just calling it out. And I'm saying if there's somebody who's listening to this, and it might even be you, to be like taking ownership and starting something and just continuing to do that and putting the money into our pockets and into our community. Because we take care of each other, and stop giving it to them. Because why? We're still under the thumb and they're getting richer off of our backs. I'm over it. Just saying.
I think that it would be great if we can do a Melanin tour of CrossFit competitions to where the Melanin Fitness Nation group is locked in. We are supporting every single competition that is on our calendar, or we can have people that say, look, we need to know all the gems of color. So therefore, every competition they have in 2024, which we're working on to try to get a list of all of them. So therefore, we can go support them. Like, I've had people reach out and say, hey, is Melanin Fitness Nation doing anything for the CrossFit Games? No, we're not. We're absolutely not. Like, I can't back that, especially being that I've already had an encounter with CrossFit at this time. And I think that they have their own lane and they need to work out their own stuff. We need to recirculate our efforts and our dollars in our community to where we can actually see, like, okay, they're doing something. They're providing resources. They're providing tools. Because I typically will try to at least once a month post about a grant opportunity for people in health and wellness. That's the easy thing for people to just go in and apply. Like, literally most of the applications take 5 to 7 minutes and you're done.
Right. That's true. Okay. So we're saying it, you know, it's going to come to fruition at some point. I don't know where or who's going to be doing it, but you're on a
Yes.
great, wonderful track by the way that you're thinking about that. Because as you're saying this, I'm thinking about the one guy who's the meme guy, make WODs great again, whatever that guy. And he posts a lot
Mm-hmm.
about
Mm-hmm.
the oh, forgive me here, but those who have the what's the term for it? Those are participating in the games, or they're disabled. Why can't I think of the name?
Adaptive athletes.
Adaptive athletes. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
great. I love it. What
Mm-hmm.
about the melanin athletes? Like, you know, there are the marginalized communities. There are those who we've all, you know, experienced a lot of stuff where we're not able to advance, receive less
Mm-hmm.
support. So how about we get some highlighting? But, you know, that's not taking place, right? So that's where it comes back to as doing that and supporting each other. So if there was like the top two things, just the top two things that
Mm-hmm.
the listeners could like totally do. I heard you say like likes on your page and sharing, like, but are there really like two things that really stand out the most, like that would make the biggest difference for you in getting the word out?
It would be two things. Oh, two things. That's a hard one. People don't
I
typically ask
know.
me hard
Easy.
questions.
Two
I
easy
know.
things. I know, but you know, people like easy.
Um, I would say more social media engagement.
Okay.
I want to sell out the gala. So 250 people max for next year.
Okay.
That's what I want.
Where's it going to be held at?
It's going to be held in Atlanta.
Okay.
Atlanta
Next year. Do you have
next
a date?
year. We're looking at November or December. So
Okay.
first part of November or first part of December. So fingers crossed. We're working out some Kings. Brian's coming down. We're going to take a look at the venue. So fingers crossed. And the venue is very nice. It's
Yeah.
very nice. So yeah.
Really excited about that, huh?
I'm
Um,
very excited. I think gala, black tie affair with our sneakers, our baseball caps, and I see everybody swag surfing together. I already see it. So there we go. It's gonna happen.
that's great. I know, because you know, when we show up, we show up.
Yes, absolutely. So Leah, before we stop, tell us about your business and how people of color in our Facebook group, our allies, can support you. So
Thank
tell us
you.
about your business and what you do.
Awesome. So my business is Leah Davis Coaching. I'm a wealth and wellness coach for Black, Indigenous, Latinx women of color. And what I do is basically it's a form of financial coaching. It is financial coaching. I'm certified in that. Worked in financial services for a long time now. And as a coach, I have many women that come with me to me. They want to be coached for a variety of different reasons. I help business owners, single moms, women in tech, you name it. But mostly it comes down to women. You mentioned it for yourself, what you want to do for the legacy for your family. And the women that I tend to coach, they want to transform the legacy of their family's wealth. And it's really about creating a plan for them to reach it. Now, coaching, of course, is not over a lifetime, it's over a period of time. But what I do in my coaching is be able to help them really articulate what it is that they really desire as their outcome, what systems and processes they have in place to reach their goals, and then work together on creating an action plan. We take a dive into their habits and behaviors to implement their plan, and a lot of work on the mindset. So a lot of work about, you know, how they're thinking, how we show up, what we're thinking, a lot of those kinds of conversations. And so my clients, you know, if somebody has like a goal of like, I want to buy a house one day, well, okay, we'll take a look at, if they want to, they say, I'm really spending too much money at Target. It's happening over and over and over again. And I know I need to be putting more money towards my savings for my house. So we talk about those things. We come up with a plan for them to, you know, better manage their cash flow. So I take a holistic approach. Sometimes a conversation might be on the health and fitness, because a client may feel like, you know, if I focus more on my health and fitness, I'll have energy, right? And I'll want to eat more
Mm-hmm.
healthy at home versus eating out. It's all tied together, right? And then when they don't
Right.
eat out, they're able to save money towards their goals. So that's what I do. I also do a lot of financial literacy workshops. I can do that for employee groups at corporations. I do it for nonprofits. I have a wide variety of topics that I teach as well. That's what I do. And I'm coming up with an online course soon. I'm working on that. It's in the works. Keep an eye out. If you want to learn more about it, you can go to my website, leahcoaching.com. That's Leah coaching.com. Sign up for a newsletter because that's how I'm letting folks know about what's coming up next.
Perfect. Leah, thank you. Melanin people, we're just so great. We're so great. Thank you so much for sharing space with me virtually today. Thank you so much for sharing your fitness story. Thank you so much for asking me hard questions. I love it. I absolutely love it. And thank you for sharing your business. So we will definitely get you in the hot seat again so we can revisit this topic. But until then, follow up with us on Melanin Fitness Nation Instagram, and we will post Leah's information so you can connect with her as well. Thanks so much, Melanin Fitness Nation. Until next time.